The streets are quiet except for the noise of our bike chains as we make our way through the neighborhoods towards downtown. The sky is a light watery blue and the morning sun is doing its best against the persistent chill in the air. It is a crisp October Saturday morning and the last Durango's farmers market of the year. As we cruise closer to the bank parking lot, now filled with white tents, people started appearing like pilgrims trekking with reusable bags towards the promise of local produce. We coast around the families, hop off our bikes, and lean them against a tree, not even thinking to lock them up. My dad and I hit all the usual tents: Brickfield for tomatoes, Adobe House for kale and beets, James Ranch for flowers and cheese. We then go to Serious Delights for warm pastries and fresh baked bread. I always get the blueberry muffin, my dad gets a blackberry bran muffin, and an extra raspberry Danish to bring home to my mom. Juggling our treats, Pa will go to the next tent over and grab a cup of coffee for himself and a cup of hot cocoa for me. We have a certain spot where we sit behind the music tent on a raised edge of the parking lot. The sun still finds us as we watch everyone walking by, my father able to name most. The ones who spot us head in our direction to shake my father's hand, pat my shoulder, and ask how's it going. Narrow-gauge train tracks run from the tiny town of Silverton, wedged up in the San Juan Mountains, 50 miles to the north down to Durango, where large smelters process tons and tons of silver and ore brought in by rail cars in the late 1800s and early 1900s, during the heyday of mining in this area. These days, the valuable cargo being hauled on this iconically scenic run is the tourists, every bit as vital to the economy of the region as metals ever were. At the same time, every Saturday, the departing train full of eager visitors blows its whistle, causing everyone at the market to jump and cover their ears. Continuing a conversation is impossible. As the whistle fades, market locals know to turn, smile, and wave, as tourism is one of the major pillars of our economy, and everyone knows a smile and a wave can go a long way. In this region, late fall means green chilies, hatch green chilies to be specific. Propane-fueled basket roasters are set up at one end of the parking lot, spinning and popping as the bushel upon bushel of chilies are roasted till the crispy black skins are loosened. The sharp smell wafts over town and permeates any crack and crevice, being surrounded by a crowd of people, all gathered at the market for a final taste of summer. I decided to choose Durango to celebrate because it was such an original community. Any time of day or year you can find a concert happening or an 80-mile bike ride being put together. I asked all of my family members why they loved Durango, what brought them, and what kept them living there. My parents had visited on vacation and decided that this is where they wanted to raise a family. My older sister was 3 and the only grandchild, so it didn't take long for both sets of grandparents to uproot from the East Coast and follow them out west. They've stayed out in Durango because of the lifestyle and the people it attracts. I talked to my dad on the phone the other day, and he was talking about how the night before, a couple of friends had grabbed a couple beers, and they planned a bike trip for the next day. Then they woke up, packed, and went on their adventure. It's a really free-flowing community. Spontaneity is almost a norm for us. In the winter, we have skiing, snowboarding, and snowdown. For the summer, it's rafting, hiking, mountain biking. I could really keep going on and on. Once the holidays are over, to break the monotony of the cold, dark winter months and to alleviate cabin fever, a town-wide event called Snowdown was created over 40 years ago. It's a 5-day party with hundreds of events for everyone. Kids compete in Oreo races, pet fashion shows, and spam sculpting. For the adults, there's the R-rated talent show, bartender competitions, and stuff a porta potty. It's always hilarious to see all your high school teachers forcing themselves into a porta potty drunk, all dressed as aliens. Well, every year the main theme changes. We've had pirates, space odyssey, and gangster. The common theme has been alcohol consumption. Costumes are mandatory and people go all out. It's all about the community and the supportiveness that revolves around us. I'm the only family member born in Durango, but I have since moved back out east. I don't have any plans on moving back, but I visit once or twice a year. And Durango will always hold a special place in my heart, and I'm very honored to have grown up in such a wonderful community. It was a light, watery... Thanks, Phil. Thank you for that.